It's just another day of being called a racist by Representative Jasmine Crockett. That's not the top story, but it's the story that gives me the most chuckles. I'm Tony Katz. The show is called Tony Katz Today. You can see it right over there. Presented by Von Reist. Look at that, the Munchner today. That's a mechanical. It is a beaut. Go to vonreist.com, R-I-E-S-T-E, vonreist.com. Use promo code KATZ, K-A-T-Z, and get your discount. Of course, it is Liberation Day. We're talking about tariffs, and I'm smoking the psycho. La, 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 la. Sound like a cigar smoker, don't I? Welcome to the show. Let's begin. Liberation Day. Well, that's just fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. I often enjoy being liberated. Hold on, wait. What? Oh, it's not. Oh, I looked it up on Urban Dictionary and I thought it was it's the tariffs. Oh gosh. Well, I'm just wholly embarrassed. I'm gonna have to cancel that text I sent my wife. Tony Katz today. What are you doing? Good to be with you. I wonder how many stations I just lost. 833 got Tony, none. 833-468-8669. It's good to be with you. The markets are in all sorts of levels of cattywampus. They have been up and they have been down. And I think what is happening is that everybody is, what is the movie? Is it Braveheart? Hold. Is it Braveheart? Yeah, thank you, producer Landon. It is indeed Braveheart. I know my anti-Semitic actors. Oh, that was really good. Can I get a little applause? No? Yes? Maybe. You guys are the worst. I think that's where everybody's doing right now. They want to see what it is that Trump's going to do. Allow me to say this again, and it is a thesis that we put forth years ago. You guys may not have known me back then. I was still a radio host, and by the way, a fantastic salsa dancer. And I don't dance salsa. I'm not opposed to learning, though. I was discussing during Trump's first election the idea of deeds versus words. And I think that many people now, after experiencing Trump for all of these years, they get it. Trump says a whole bunch of stuff that isn't the stuff that matters. Not that all of it should be dismissed or discounted, but rather what matters is the action, the deed. Right? There's a whole it's called Pirkei Avot, and for Jews it's sayings of our fathers, and it's these. Do you call them stories? Do you call them rules? Ideas, concepts, philosophies? And one of them is that I hope I'm attributing it right. I believe I am. Deeds exceed wisdom. Right? If you're talking about something you should be doing, it's one thing to know that you should be doing it. It's another thing to do it. And if you're doing it and you don't have it all together, but you know there's a basic concept here and you're learning about it, the doing it matters. I don't think you should do something without any knowledge, but the idea of doing the thing. I've always made it akin to, it's the difference between talking about something and doing something. I hang out with a very unique, very interesting group of people who are all very successful people in a multiplicity of different ways. And people will come in and out of this group of folk. And they're always talking about something. They're always talking about an idea. We should try this and do that. And what about this? Create that. But what are they doing? Are they actually doing it? The people who come in and out, not these core group of people. They actually do. I love the doers of any level. When I started my radio career, everybody was talking about they were waiting for a deal, right? They're trying to get something done. Oh, got a big deal cooking here, big deal cooking there. I was in Los Angeles at the time. But they were always waiting for a contract, waiting for a script, right? It was Hollywood, LA, waiting for a callback, waiting for a funding, waiting for this. Me, I took the last money I had in the world, the last $2,000 my wife and I had, and I put it into buying time on a radio station. That's an absolutely true story. One day I will do the full story. I didn't know how to do it. I just knew I had to get started. Enough talking already. Go do the thing. Deeds exceed wisdom. With Trump, it is not the word, it is the action. What is it that he is doing? So when we discuss tariffs, this is extremely important, which is why I think the markets are in a place of hold. They've been up, they've been down, they're back up. Who knows where they're going to be? I don't have an answer for where it ends. I have no idea how this market is going to respond because we're not 100% sure of where all these tariffs are going to land. We have heard about 25% tariffs on cars not built in the United States. We have heard about tariffs on all nations, reciprocal and otherwise. We've heard about additional tariffs on energy out of Russia. Well, if that takes place, these European nations that are maddeningly buying Russian energy are going to pay more. That will increase costs of what they create to send to us, and that will increase the cost, never mind of what the tariff cost is on top of it. We don't know what it's all going to be. So it is hard to take a look right now and say, here's what we're going to get. Because what he has said could be different than what he does. It's the deeds, not the words. He has said that he is going to engage reciprocal tariffs, and then the next day has stated he might be a little more lenient because a reciprocal tariff might be too much for some of these countries, which would mean a recognition of what these other countries will be dealing with, which doesn't seem to be his modus operandi, because the entire objective is get these countries to give us a better deal. Tariffs are taxes. And when someone puts a tariff on our goods, it increases the price of the good, making their good more palatable or more affordable, if you will, by design. If we look at it from how Barack Obama put it together, he did not discuss tariffs. He discussed the idea that if you want people to use green energy, you have to have regular energy, the stuff that works, necessarily skyrocket. Energy prices would have to necessarily skyrocket. His words, not mine, because you increase the price of oil and you make the other things, wind and solar, look good by comparison. But what you've created is a false economy. Tariffs are acts of protectionism. Protectionism goes against the very concepts of free trade. I'm a free trade guy. I understand and accept that President Trump has been on this subject for a very long time and has the theory, and it is, by the way, in many ways a provable theory. It's not like he grabbed it out of the ether, right? That didn't happen. He said, look at what's going on here. Look at these trade imbalances. Look what these other countries do to us. He has been doing this for decades. This is the most unnew part of Donald Trump ever. He has always been this guy. And I think for him, it is both personal. For him, I think he takes it personally, and I think it's personal for America. I do think he takes it in both ways. If other nations are putting a tariff on our good, it is unfair. More than the dollars, I think he views the very idea of unfair. That's how I think he takes it. And so this is about making things fair and level. Now, I disagree with him when he talks about the fact that billions of dollars of tariffs are going to come into the United States. We're the ones who pay that. We pay the tariff. Everybody knows this. We're not debating this. And if you want to debate it, well, enjoy talking to yourself, because we can't. We're the ones who pay it. Well, not if we buy just products made in America. If the product made in America utilizes a part that comes from overseas or anywhere else, the cost of the product goes up. We're good. We understand. Great. Trump sees this as an opportunity to set the balance right. Now, I know when I say that, I very much go into Thanos talk. Not what I want to do, but it is absolutely how he views it. Israel has already made the jump, canceling remaining tariffs on U.S. imports. You needs to have a sign off from the economy minister, Nir Barkat, Barkat, and the finance committee of the Knesset. But it's going to happen. In the case of Israel, remember what it is that they're going for. A relationship with the United States that allows them to destroy Hamas, destroy Hezbollah, destroy the Houthis, and put an end to the Ayatollah and the Iranian regime of terror. That might be worth a couple of bucks in trade. Bilateral trade between the U.S. and Israel, $34 billion. There are things more important. And there's a very interesting point here, whether it's Israel or anybody else. And Trump, this is the part that I think people miss about him all the time, right? I have heard people say that he can't handle a tough question, which I always thought was very strange. He has stated, I thought it was one of his better lines. This was first term. Tough questions are fine. I just want it to be fair. Now, we can agree or disagree about fair, but you've seen the unfair questions. You've seen the nonsense questions. He can handle tough, and I don't understand why people have to come to his aid. The guy can handle tough. He's proven that numerous times. He wants things to be fair. And one of the things that he has said repeatedly, I'm not mad at these other countries for taking advantage of us. I'm mad at us for letting them take advantage of us. This is his methodology. This is his math. Is this going to work out the way he wants with these tariffs? The hell if I know. You have people discussing recession, stagflation. I have not. I'm not in that camp. I have no reason to be in that camp. Although I now have had two different people discuss with me the idea of a bear market, which is not fun, but there is still money to be made. Absolutely still money to be made in a bear market. That's a market that's going down in number. We can also say that just because the market went up in the Biden years doesn't mean the economy was good. And if the market were to trend down as it has been, because of tariff unrest and maybe some of these other issues, not just tariffs, it doesn't mean that the economy isn't getting better or can't get better. It's not what it means. The market is not the only indicator that we should be looking at. But I want him to be successful because that means we'll be successful. And if indeed it puts tariffs can come in quickly, trade deals get made, the tariffs come off quickly, and things settle down, good. That's what I want to see. Tariffist tactic. We're now witnessing it on this Liberation Day. How many tariffs? Where are the tariffs? Oh, that's still to be determined. We're going to find out all soon enough. Let's take a breath. Let's not get worked up. Let's not lose our minds. Let's not listen to the political left and every level of doomsdaying they do. Let's see what happens. We voted for this, and here it is. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today. I think I did that all right. Shared the story, right? Good. Guys, welcome. How are you? Tony Katz. Good to be with you. So, Midwest folk, where are we on these storms? Especially my beloved Indiana. They're supposed to be south of I-70. And there's supposed to be intensity. Winds have picked up for sure. Those winds are going to grow in strength. So we'll see. But the rain seems to have shifted later. So hopefully that means everyone will be a little more safe. But like that whole where Tennessee meets Missouri meets Arkansas, that whole quadrant, that does not look great for this storm. Not at all. Lighting my Psycho from Asylum CLE cigars. They do good work. They do good work. Christian Aroa. I'm a huge fan of his brother, Justo Aroa. Brother, right? Yeah. JRE, which does the Aladino. Oh, do I love the Aladino. Do you have the winds by you there, Landon? Oh, you don't have it right now? Because oh, that's right. You got moved to the other studio. You don't have windows. Well, that's just terrible. That's just terrible. We're coming back to the radio show, guys. Good to be with you. Got questions? I've got answers. Happy to share. Representative Jasmine Crockett. She's the gift that keeps on giving. And now the argument is she'd love to be all cozy with MAGA, but she can't because you're a racist.
MAGA just, there's nothing that I could ever say or do that would make MAGA be like, that's our girl, right? Because, like, first of all, ton of racist. So never happening, right?
I don't know what it's like to be that cheap. I don't. I have no idea what that's like. What's it like to aggressively live in a world where you try and engage only in the most simplistic thought? I'd like to be friends with MAGA, but they're all racist. If they're all racist, why would you want to be friends with them? Why would you want to be accepted? I never want to be accepted by the Communist Party. All communists suck, and the only thing communism can lead to is murder and a prayer for a swift and painless death. That's it. I don't want to be friends with communists. I don't want to be friends with Hamas supporters. No, thanks. I don't want to be friends with people who eat their pizza with a knife and fork. I will pass. Tony Katz today. What's going on, everybody? Good to be here. Good to be with you. And my thanks to Flederman Von Riest. Happy to be their brand ambassador. Watches assembled in Indiana. Von Riest, Rieste. VonRiest.com. Check them out and use promo code KATZ, KATZ. Get your discount. VonRiest.com. The playbook hasn't changed, though, and that's why I brought this up. That Jasmine Crockett doesn't have anything to offer. She's just fun to make fun of at this stage of the game. And now it's just a question of what criminally insane thing is she going to say this time? Right? And then we go, she's so silly. Because she is. This is the playbook. They have nothing in terms of policy. They have nothing in terms of philosophy. So what can they offer? How do you connect? Claim that the other guy is a racist, belittle the other guy, dehumanize the other guy. We know that's the the story. We know that's the game. We know that's the game because, well, we've seen it time and time and time again. Maybe that's why I didn't like Senator Jim Banks' answer to this guy asking a question. It's not that I like the guy asking a question. And Senator Banks is my senator. I like the man. He's been very, very supportive. I attended the Benjamin Netanyahu speech. He invited me to that. Very, very nice guy. And I thought this was actually out of character for him.
Hi, I was a worker at HHS. I was fired illegally on February 14th. There are many people who are not getting social service programs, especially people with disabilities. Are you going to do anything to stop what's happening?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it.
Dude,
Wow.
Sad.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Why did I deserve it?
Because you seem like a clown.
Okay, sir, you shouldn't have said that on.
Jim Banks is overjoyed that he said that on camera. Senator Banks is thrilled that he said that on camera. What, are you kidding? The whole point was to say that on camera. And he's still on camera saying quite clearly he's got nothing to apologize for.
The Democrats and the left-wing media have lost their minds because I told a left-wing activist in the halls of the Senate office buildings yesterday what I really thought. A clown is a clown who's chasing senators through the halls with a cell phone, complaining about losing a left-wing woke job in the federal government that should have never been a job to begin with. I won't back down. I won't apologize for it. I support President Trump and the DOGE effort 100% to cut wasteful spending and woke jobs out of the federal government, and we're just getting started. The Democrats and the left.
All right, I don't need to listen to that anymore. Not apologizing. So I listened to that and I'm like, I know the guy. I know the dude. And this seemed like a stretch for him. He's smarter than this. He could have gone 100 different ways with this. Do you think you deserved it? That's not the answer. The answer is, hey, there are a lot of jobs that shouldn't have been, and so there are cuts that have to be made and decisions have to be made, and you're not guaranteed a job. That's just the way it is. Like, I'm not guaranteed to win an election next time around. Have a nice day. Well, Tony, if he had done that, well, then people wouldn't be talking about it. It's my naivete, isn't it? See, Tony, you're not willing to fight. Oh, I'm willing to fight. I just don't know if that was the best. I think he's got better in him. That's what I want to see. I'm Tony Katz. Oh, God, I'm going to get emails from his staff. That's fine. Won't be the first time. This is Tony Katz today. All right. Let's see what we've got going on over here. Yeah, it got warm in my studio. Like, it was weird, just all of a sudden. So air conditioning is now on. We are seeing temperatures increase because that's what's going to lead to these storm conditions. If you missed, actually, you guys haven't missed it yet. Some of my other stations have. Oh, I've got a whole Cory Booker thing to get into. The most unimportant filibuster of all time. Cory Booker, 25 hours and 4 minutes. And I don't know why anybody thinks we should be impressed. There's nothing impressive here. Nothing. I have a fascinating story that's going to seem local, but it's not. You will think that it is a local story, but it is not actually a local story. And then I've got this from the Daily Mail once again, how broken not only the UK is, but how broken so much of society is. So I've got that story as well. Of course, your comments. I've got more on Liberation Day. I have got more on Anna Paulina Luna, who is flat out wrong. Flat out wrong. Oh, and election results. Oh, I've got that. And going along with that is the billionaires are back. All of a sudden, it's okay to be a billionaire because you were backing the liberals. See, Elon Musk, well, that's just evil. That's bad billionaire. Then we need to do away with the billionaires. But George Soros and J.B. Pritzker, that's good billionaires. These people. These people. I will get in to all of it. There's a weird thing going on. I am on LinkedIn, as many of you may be. I know Reid Hoffman. I don't know him. I know he owns it. And so I'm getting these messages from LinkedIn that there are people who want to learn about public speaking. Are they trying to hire me to speak, or is it that they actually want me to teach them how to do this? Because I mean, I guess I could, but I don't know in what time. But is that actually what they're trying to get done? I don't know if anybody's ever gotten those before. If you have, let me know how you've done it. And by the way, Sarah runs all our digital work here. I absolutely, in discussing Booker, will bring up Spartacus. Don't you worry about that. I am Spartacus. That's exactly the line. It's exactly the line, Producer Landon. All right. Music in 5 seconds. Fantastic. Here we go, guys.
The very beginning of this Congress, House Democrats have continued to make clear that we are fighting hard to build an affordable economy that drives down the high cost of living for everyday Americans. Because the cost of living in America is too high. Housing costs are too high, grocery costs are too high, childcare costs are too high, utility costs are too high, and insurance costs are too high. America.
Yeah, we know Hakeem Jeffries. We get it. It's all Joe Biden's fault. We were telling you for years to do something about it, and you did nothing about it except call those of us who said you should do something about it racists and bigots. And now that Trump is president, you're noticing. We see you. Is this the plan? To tell us what is obvious? And now you're going to take a guy who's been in office for not 3 months and tell us it's his fault. This is your argument. Who does this grab? The answer is no one, but you have nothing else. This has been my whole point. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. Liberation Day, as President Trump calls it. Soon they'll be, here are the tariffs, and we'll see whether they provide any value and bring any business back to the U.S. Not the story I wanted to discuss. The story I wanted to discuss is out of IU, Indiana University. We've talked about Columbia and NYU, issues at the University of Michigan, where they just ended their entire DEI program, which was nothing more than a jobs program. That's all it ever was. It wasn't about diversity. It was about, look at all the people we've hired from all these backgrounds. Aren't we wonderful? Millions and millions and millions of dollars, not to help the students one bit. All pretend, all make-believe, no facts. People who believe in DEI are kidding themselves. And I know there's people who make a whole bunch of money being authorities on this and doing it, programs for companies and all that. It's an unseriousness that should be addressed because no one believes in a diversity of thought. Not a one of them. I'm not discussing DEI with Indiana University. It is not University of Indiana. It's Indiana University. IU, the Hoosiers. Not too far down the road from me, where we are heard on WGCL in Bloomington. Great people. Love you. Appreciate you. Got to come for a visit. No, this is a story of a professor by the name of Xiaofeng Wang, a professor at the Luddy School of Informatics, Computing and Engineering. That's the school, the Luddy School of Informatics, Computing and Engineering. Listed as a professor, and all of a sudden is gone. Gone. Disappeared. There's an archived version of the site that will list him as the director of the Center for Security and Privacy in Informatics, Computing and Engineering, and the director of secure computing at Liddy. He no longer exists on the site. He was fired. Fired. He was suspended on March 14th for research misconduct. Now, normally, a story like this would not make its way. To me, it wouldn't really cross my desk. The story crossed my desk because I had seen a story days earlier where homes were raided not too far from where I live by the FBI. It happens. The home in question is owned by Professor Xiaofeng Wang. He has two homes, one in Bloomington, one north of Indianapolis, which would be about an hour and a half away from each other. The FBI does the raid, and he no longer exists on the site. Not only does he not exist, his wife, who also worked there, a lead systems analyst and programmer at IU's Library Technologies Division, gone. Now I'd like to know what happened. If I was somebody who engaged in what's the word I'm looking for? Guessing? Assumptions? You tell me someone's name is Xiaofeng Wang, and I'm going to ask where he's from. American citizen? Chinese national? What's the story here? What is the story of this guy and where he comes from? What is the story of his wife and where she comes from? What were they working on? What access did they have at IU? Something that if I was a student, I would want to know about. Cybersecurity, computing and engineering, informatics. What exactly did this person have access to? And why was the FBI raiding their home? We haven't been told. Not only there at the Luddy School of Informatics, Computing and Engineering, a fellow at the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers and the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Let's go a step further. He was tenured. They fired a tenured professor. Now, I will admit to you that the amount I know about tenure could fit into a Glencairn glass. I got to make an assumption, though, for those of you who know more about the academic world than I. Man, it's got to take a whole lot to be fired from your tenured position. I mean, there has to be some clause that you clearly violated. One would assume maybe an ethics clause. Maybe there's an ethics clause that you violated. I have questions. Lots of them. Like, for example, why is the union, from the American Association of University Professors, why are they protesting this guy's firing? Does the union know what he did? I don't think so, because no one knows what he did. We don't know why the FBI raided both of this guy's houses. We don't know why IU fired him. Not suspended without pay, not on leave, not leave of absence. Get out, take your crap with you. Don't ever come back. By the way, the sex wasn't that great. They said goodbye. And here is this union, the American Association of University Professors, which, I don't know, might be two guys who live in their mom's basement. Beats me who they are. And they are protesting. While the outcome of those investigations may ultimately bear on Professor Wang's continued appointment at IU, the mere fact of an investigation or of an unadjudicated allegation cannot justify failure to comply with university policies on the part of the administration. It is a fundamental that individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Not to keep a job in a court of law for American citizens. To keep a job? If the employer believes you are more of a problem than you are of an asset, you could be gone. If the university knows that you stole something, or the employer knows that you stole something, even though a court hasn't proven it yet, you can be gone. Here's the video of you stealing the thing. You know? What's you're going to go full Shaggy? Wasn't me. That is not a defense. Maybe you can try in a court of law. In the real world, okay, we've got this. We're not interested. Bye. You want to sue us? Knock yourself out. Now, maybe one could argue that the union needs to be the people who say this, because after all, how do they show their value as a union? We stand up for you, even in the worst of times. Maybe you should be a little more discerning, union, because what you sound like is crazy for engaging a defense in where you know none of the data. We are intrigued, or we're curious by this firing, and look forward to more information to be able to understand what it is that IU has done. That could be a way to do this. This story matters because while we can run away, with our wildest thoughts, and I don't know if we would necessarily be off base with our wildest thoughts, we have opened the doors of universities to all types, and not all of those types are good types. When we are told that parents should not have a say in the education of our children because they aren't trained, and look at these people who are trained, well, we should be taking a look at who trains them. It's very much a conversation of who watches the Watchmen. And it's very much asking whether the training has any value whatsoever. Well, we should be looking at the hiring and how people are hired and where they're hired from. And maybe we should start looking at education and higher education, not just as an education conversation, but as a national security conversation. Now, you're right. I'm getting ahead of myself. There's carts and there's horses, and one goes in front of the other, and I'm never sure which way it goes. I do know this. There's a story here. There's a story here, and we don't have the information. I'd like it. And we're going to keep our eyes on it till we get it. Oh, here's why I really brought it up. If this is happening at IU, why would anybody think this wouldn't happen at Oklahoma State, University of Tennessee? Maybe this is an issue on the campus of the Fighting Illini. We see the problems in Columbia and at Berkeley and UCLA, and we're like, oh, those schools. It's the entire university setup. And it requires our attention if we're going to send our kids there and write these people checks, or worse, allow them federal funding. I am not making an accusation against IU. I've shared a story. I'd like to know more of what happened. I'm Tony Katz, and this is Tony Katz Today. See, now the market's up. Look at that. That's just crazy, right? The market right now, earlier was down in the red, a couple hundred. Right now, the Dow is up 229. The NASDAQ is up 194. They don't know what to do. They do not know what to do. Meanwhile, there are sirens going on. Those are not tornado sirens. Those are just the regular sirens. Like I don't know, they're running through an emergency or they're after somebody. Nobody so far I've not heard any screaming of look out, it's the popo. I haven't heard that yet at all. Let me go to your comments right here. First of all, did who misgender whom? Because there's no such thing as misgendering. Secondly, no one in America should have a net worth of more than $1 billion. Here's the question, Mark. What will you do if they do? Someone has a net worth of more than $1 billion. What's your plan? You're going to take the money? How? What are you going to do with the money? Who does it go to? Under what pretense? Pretense? Under what kind of moral authority do you take someone's money? And how did you come up with $1 billion, Mark? How did that happen? Why not 5 billion? Why not 100 million? Why not 82,000? You seem to have picked the number right out of the air. How did you come to the number? And if somebody has $1,000,001, how are you going to get that extra buck? What tools are you going to use? Are you going to threaten them with jail? Are you going to raid the home and find the dollar? Are you going to seize their bank accounts? Are you going to put their children into foster homes only to give them their children back if he, she, or they, a couple, returns the dollar to you? What's your plan? What is your violent plan for getting the money? And I say violent because there is no way for it to be nonviolent. It can't be nonviolent. It must by nature be violent because government by nature is force. So tell us, Mark. Tell us how you're going to get that, going to make this rule and get that dollar. Can't wait to hear that. Show's coming back. Glad you guys are here. You ain't going to believe this. I have discussed more than once that the UK is done. And that if Prince William, soon to be King William, doesn't make moves on immigration and re-emphasizing the role of the church that his great, I don't know how many greats his grandfather created, well, we've got a problem. And we will see that King William is the final king. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. Let me give you an example of the UK falling. And you might say to me, well, Tony, you're talking about immigration and the radical Islamists that have taken over large swaths of whether it be London or the country as a whole. Oh, no. This toddler kicked out of nursery for being transphobic. When we say a nursery, we're talking about a child who is either 3 or 4 years old, according to the story. Aged 3 or 4. Suspended for abuse against sexual orientation and gender identity. This, according to data from the Department of Education. For those of us playing the home game, how in the hell can a 3-year-old be transphobic? It's impossible. The only thing more impossible than a 3-year-old being transphobic, never mind the very concept of transphobic, afraid of trans people, that's not it. It is a falsehood. It's like Islamophobia. Total nonsense. A serious concern about jihadists? Absolutely. Islamophobia? That's not a thing. The only thing crazier than this, being kicked out for being transphobic, is thinking that a 3-year-old can determine their gender, which, of course, a lot of these lefties do. I'm told that things like this and discussions like this is nothing more than a engaging of a culture war. Allow me to say it again. Yeah, it's absolutely a culture war. I am fine with being at war with a culture that thinks a 3-year-old is somehow a bigot and should be thrown out of school. And this isn't the first time it's happened. 94 pupils at similar primary institutions were suspended or permanently excluded for transphobia or homophobia. You got to go back to why I don't like DEI, why I know it's bigoted, because in order for DEI to be successful, they have to find something, even if it doesn't exist, because you have to do what? Ensure that the job remains. Because, well, it's not like bigotry ever gets solved. You have to go find it. And just like we've seen from people across the country, when they can't find bigotry, they create their own noose and claim that someone's being racist towards them. We have to root out this transphobia in children. Look, I found it again. And the 3-year-old is the mark and the victim. The UK has to fix this, and we have to fix it regardless of what Europe does. This is Tony Katz today. I do like this Connecticut. I just think they do a nice job with it. I've been doing more and more Connecticut's over the last 2 years. And I just think that this, I mean, it's not my all-time, but it's one that's in my regular rotation. I just think this is a nice, flavorful, easy, focused Connecticut cigar, right? Connecticut's are more mild, usually, first cigar of the day, have it with coffee, espresso, something like that. You can really do a Connecticut at any time. But when people really started playing with Connecticut's over the last couple of years, they to me, they seem to turn them into pepper bombs, right? A lot of spice. And I'm not interested in that. Flavor. Not one thing. Give me movement. And if it's going to be monotone, it should at least have a pleasantness. If every third of the cigar is going to be the same, give me that pleasantness all through. Pepper, 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 pepper. Nope. Not for me. So this, I think, has just a nice, easygoingness about it. I've always enjoyed it. Not even, off the top of my head, sure, the makeup of the Psycho. But I do, as I said, I do enjoy the cigar. We are going to take the break. That right there is from Von Rees. That's the Munchener. Oh, love it. It's a mechanical right here. Go to vonreest.com and get your discount. Use promo code CATS. I am proud to be their brand ambassador, sharing the story of Von Reest and what it is they do, how it is they do it. Beautiful, beautiful piece. This is a Swiss movement piece, right? Some are Japanese movement, Miyota or Seiko. This is a Swiss movement piece, and just beautiful on the hand, which is interesting because like this is larger than I like to go in size, but it hits right because where the strap's coming down is just right on, working for me in every way. And it's beautiful. I like the kind of black on black. It's actually black on gray, and it's got yellow accents. It's a beauty of a piece. vonreest.com. Use promo code CATS to get your discount. We're going to take a little break because the radio show's in break, and we will be back. Glad you are here, guys. Stick around. Welcome back, Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. That's the name of the show. It's good to be with you guys. Very, very happy to be here. Election results, special elections took place yesterday. And we can argue mixed bag. We can argue that there were some very good things that took place, some things we wished had taken place. That would have been better. But you don't win them all. The question is, can the Republicans win it all? What the numbers show, what the numbers mean, and most importantly, something that we have been discussing for a while, the difference between the Republican brand and the Trump brand. I wonder if I could find, before we begin, part of my presentation that I did. So this was in November. I did something called Understanding the Election in 3 Bourbons. You know, I'm doing the next one, right? Trump and American Reset in 3 Bourbons. Well, I was doing an event called Understanding the Election in 3 Bourbons. And I was making a point. You know, I'm gonna try and do this. I'm going to try and make this happen and share this with you. Let me see if I can do this really quick. Where would it be? I don't know if I can. Can you see that? Cool. I'm going to try and open this up. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, nope. That's not going to work. We'll just do it like this. We'll just do it like this. It'll be pretty groovy. You got to trust me. All right. Election results. Florida and Wisconsin, that's really what we're talking about. Where the Republicans hold and help their small majority in the House with victories in the Florida 6th and the Florida 1st. The Florida 6th was the district of Mike Waltz, who's now the National Security Advisor, who's having his own issues Never mind the whole thing with Signal. Remember when that was a thing? But it was the Washington Post reporting that members of his team were engaged in high-level conversations using Gmail. It's the Washington Post. I think you should check, double check, and recheck. The National Security Council is saying that people who were legacy contacts sent him information. They sent information through his Gmail. He then corresponded properly and made sure everything was connected to his government account as of January 20th to ensure there were no record-keeping issues. If anybody is communicating at a high level with Gmail, fire them. I'm fine with that. I'm also fine with firing the Secretary of Defense if they go AWOL and don't let and have surgery, not letting the commander-in-chief know nor their underlings. And that was Lloyd Austin, which is why I don't listen to the left when they start screaming, fire this one, fire that one, fire the other one, fire your mother, fire this. You know, there's no paying attention to that. It's all madness. That was Florida. Good result. In Wisconsin, the best result came when they codified voter ID into their constitution. Now, Wisconsin's interesting. They had this rule on the books since 2011 about needing an ID, but it wasn't in their constitution. In order for something to get into their constitution, I think I've got this right. It has to pass their state legislature twice in 2 consecutive years. So you have to be able to get everybody together and get the language together and get it passed. And then the following year, you have to be able to do it again. That is a high bar. And then after that, it goes to the people for a vote. Well, over 60% of the people said, yeah, voter ID in the Constitution. The only 2 areas of Wisconsin were opposed to this, Milwaukee and Madison. Madison, that's Dane County. We're talking about the where University of Wisconsin-Madison is. These nutty people. This is the Berkeley of the Midwest. Well, Madison is, 10 square miles surrounded by reality. All right, that's what it is. So that was a win. But in the Supreme Court race, the liberal won, and in the superintendent race, the liberal won. In that Supreme Court race, you're hearing people discuss that, the Elon-backed, what was his name, Schimmel, lost the race. Elon, huge loss for Elon Musk, huge loss for Donald Trump. And Anna Navarro celebrating J.B. Pritzker, saying our billionaire won. 2 things. First, billionaires are back. Hey, no one gets canceled forever. Look at you. Welcome back, billionaires. Good to see you. You see, the left had said billionaires were bad, and billionaires are always bad. And then after screaming about billionaires at the DNC, they introduced J.B. Pritzker and Oprah Winfrey. I was like, this is weird. And then all these politicos taking pictures at the home of Alex Soros, the son of George Soros in Manhattan, all kissing the ring. Except when they do it, it's not kissing the ring. But when Trump does it, it's kissing the ring and blah, 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 blah. But the billionaires are back. All of a sudden, billionaires are okay. MSNBC will refer to the Schimmel, the Republican who ran for the Supreme Court there, as the Musk-backed and Trump-backed. But the Democrat who won, what was her name, Susan Crawford? Never the George Soros-backed, even though George Soros did back her. Well, Tony, Elon Musk spent more money than George Soros. What the hell does that matter? You either oppose billionaires getting involved in these races or you don't. Your choice. Your move. You oppose it or you don't. It is binary. Just that easy. So the idea that the billionaire is back and is spectacular, and the idea that some billionaires are good and some billionaires are bad, that's just special. That's just a joy to behold. The real story of this election is what we see in the results. As a matter of just a quick review, when you take a look at the Republicans winning in Florida, because when you take a look at Wisconsin, Schimmel was always underwater in the polling. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah. Always underwater in the polling. There was never, I think he lost by 10 points. And I think the polling had it at 8.6 loss. So I don't think anybody's surprised. It was an uphill battle. In Florida, there was a real issue regarding this guy, Randy Fine. There didn't seem to be as much of an issue with the guy who won in the first district, Jimmy Patronis. The story here is that Patronis and Fine underperformed Trump. Well, first, that's a presidential election year. And this is an off-year special election. It's hard to compare those two things. But if you take a look at the numbers, underperformed. I want to share with you someone who described this in great detail, and that someone is me. Going back to November, I held an event. You guys know I do events. I've got Trump and American Reset in 3 bourbons coming up. That is April 17th. You can get tickets at tickets.tonykatz.com. I hope you'll be there. Kokomo, Indiana. I'll bring it to your city. It's going to be fantastic. This I did not too far from me in a place called Fishers, Indiana. Understanding the election in 3 bourbons, where I broke down the data. I broke down what it is we were seeing from the election results. And if you follow the live stream, and we'll put the video up, this is part of my slideshow here. This is part of my presentation. When you take a look at battleground states, you'll note that Trump took every single battleground, all those swing states, Arizona and Nevada and Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. And what's the other one? What's the other one? I'm missing one here. Michigan. Did I mention Michigan? Right. Took the swing states. But in those swing states, there were places that did not carry over. So if you take a look at Trump in Arizona with 1.575 million votes to Kamala Harris's 1.389, that's a victory. But the Democrat, Ruben Gallego, had 1.471 votes, 1,471,000 votes to Carrie Lake's, the Republicans, 1,426,000 votes. Trump got 1,575,000. Carrie Lake got 1,426,000. That means people made a proactive decision not to vote for Carrie Lake. And Ruben Gallego got more votes than Kamala Harris in a Senate race. Let's take a look at Nevada. Nevada to me is the horror show. That Sam Brown was not senator over Jacqueline Rosen. Just a killer. Trump gets 728,000 votes. Kamala Harris, 682,000 votes. Jackie Rosen, the Democrat, got 679,000 votes. Sam Brown, 658,000. Look at the numbers. Jackie Rosen got almost as many votes as Kamala Harris, and Sam Brown was down to Donald Trump's count by 70,000 votes. How in the world does that happen? How? Wisconsin. Trump has 1.699 million votes. 1,699,000. Kamala Harris, 1,666,000. I love it. It's 1,666. Yeah, it's funny. But in the Democrat, on the Senate side, the Democrat, Tammy Baldwin, got 1,675,000 votes. She got more votes than Kamala Harris. And Hovde, the Republican, 1,649,000 votes. Underperformed Trump by 50,000 votes. You want to see it again? Michigan. Trump gets 2.8 million votes in Michigan. Mike Rogers gets 2.6 million votes in Michigan. How? You take Michigan, you take Wisconsin, you take Nevada, Arizona, it's 0. Going back to November, we were addressing this data. And what this data shows is that the Republican brand is nowhere near as strong as the Trump brand. Nowhere near. That's a magnificent problem. That problem carries forward to what we see in Florida. You can argue that it's an off-season election. You can argue that it's a special election, right? Off-season, not midterm, not a general. I'll agree with you. But when you see the numbers of Trump won in that district by 30 and this guy won in the district by 11, it's still a double-digit victory. We should not think that that is small by any stretch of the imagination, but it tracks. People see Trump as Trump. They see him here as just this thing. They see the Republican Party here. They don't see it as the same. If we discuss the people who voted in the 2024 election and we talk about the low propensity voter, if we believe that Barron Trump saw that his dad should be speaking to people where they are and go on the podcast and talk to these people and the guys over here and the guys over here and the bros over here and everything else, he may have very well been right about that and activate that low propensity voter, but they got activated for Trump and not for Republicans. Which means the Republican Party has a problem with a cult of personality. Which is why it cannot be about personality. It has to be about policy. It has to be about the thing. Well, Trump's the personality. What are you going to do? Somehow get rid of Trump's personality? No. It's why I've made the argument from the beginning that you don't necessarily need Trump to be the only guy. You got to take the lessons learned from him. You got to be able to be fruitful and multiply. It's the only way to obtain victory. The party has to be seen as tough, nimble, able, and absolutely following through on their promises. If you don't have a party that you could do that with, if there's only one guy, you cannot sustain victory. And Trump without a House and a Senate, if Democrats get control of the House, Democrats will impeach Trump on day 2. Now, some other people have said day 1. I think Scott Presler might have been one of those guys. And Scott Presler, bless the man's soul, doing the work in Pennsylvania, trying to do it in Wisconsin, pushing this idea. His issue with Wisconsin was if you don't elect the conservative, the Republican in this case, Democrats, when it comes time to setting the map for the districts, for congressional districts, they're going to draw Republicans right out. It's going to happen. And it always happens. The states always do that depending on who's in charge. Otherwise, you would just build a grid and be like, whoop, there it is. But no, a map is 2 miles over here and 7 miles over here, and then it connects over here. And then there's one street and it connects this. It's nutty. And we all know it. We all know it. They want to pretend it's not happening. We see you. Of course it's happening. The Republicans have a real brand problem. And Donald Trump needs to make the decision of whether or not he's going to help with that. Is it about the party or is it about him? Because if it's about him, we're doing it all wrong. I'm not mad. I am not angry. You had to get the result. You had to win. And some coattails worked, but more than not didn't. And that's a brand issue. The data is there, and the data from the special election continues proving the point. So, where are the Republicans and what are they going to do? And for this RNC, if you're not already working on ground games in states, if you're not already building towards a messaging and winning the midterm elections, you got to get out of the way. Let a guy like Scott Presler do it. He's shown he could do it. Let's see what he could do with real resources. All right, maybe he has some resources. I don't know everything he's got. I've never met the dude. And maybe there are others. You got a real challenge in front of you. The only thing you've got going for you is that more people will be paying attention to a midterm. You can have more large-scale messaging coming from the top, which can help you. Oh, and that the political left is out of their mind definitely helps. But the branding issue, the data is right there. That's real. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today. Guys, welcome back. Tony Katz. Good to be with you. Tony Katz Today is the name of the show. Of course, a radio show. And then we do the live stream along with it. Building, growing, expanding our reach as we are known to do, want to do. Your questions, I would love to get those. Just leave a comment and we will get to them. And sometimes, some people have got to be, they have to be deleted. Their comments are like if you question if I'm an American, like I'm sorry, you have to go now. That is just not gonna work out well. Okay, so I've got that. Let's see what else is going on. Senate Democrats are talking about tariffs. Do we want to watch that? No? Okay. But I do have a whole bunch, there's a bunch of clips I haven't gotten to. Ooh. Well, there's a story. We will do that. That. All right, now I'm ready. Sometimes you gotta get ready for the show, guys. Anyway, we are smoking from the good people at Asylum. This is the Psycho, right? This is the Connecticut. I like it quite a bit, and of course, look at that. Look at it. That's the Munchener from the good people at Von Riest, who I am thrilled to work with. They do incredible work. Von Riest cigars, Von Riest watches, Rieste. Proud to be their brand ambassador. Use promo code CATS and get your discount. Von Riest, Rieste. This is mechanical. They've got automatics, all different styles. A lot of colorful stuff, which I love. VonRiest.com. Use promo code CATS and get your discount. Let's get back to the radio show. Let's go to work.
And we have breaking news. Amazon making a last-minute bid to buy TikTok in the U.S. This massively popular social media app is facing a deadline later this month to separate from its Chinese owner. President Trump is meeting with Vice President Vance and other top advisors about TikTok today. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung joins us. Brian, what do we know about this?
Yeah, and a source familiar with the matter can confirm to NBC News the original report from the New York Times saying that Amazon had put in this last-minute bid to acquire all of TikTok. However, the source...
I also put in a last-minute bid to acquire TikTok, but I only have radio money, so it's somehow it's not being considered. Tony Katz today. I thought that at the last time we talked about TikTok, it was all about, no, we're not gonna pull him just yet. We're gonna let him operate. I didn't realize maybe I missed it. There was a deadline to when they had to find a new buyer. So now we have Amazon in the mix. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, he wanted to put together a group. I don't think Musk was trying to buy TikTok, was he? I don't think. Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't recall that. I don't know. Amazon buying TikTok makes Amazon a very, very strong content machine. The real question will be, is there a change in algorithm? Is there a change in what it is 14-year-olds are being served? And can we please end the sadness of this idea that somehow, amazingly, shockingly, this isn't owned by China? Senator Rand Paul is like, this isn't owned by China. It's owned a percentage by this one, a percentage by that one. And I like the guy so much. And there was just no way he actually believed that to be true. And while this happens in the world of content, over there in Star Wars land, you have another Disney actor wanting to destroy the brand. We talked about Snow White and how terrible things were. And now you have Snow White stars that are like sending out like subtweeting. Do you know what subtweeting is? When somebody reads it, knows that it's about them, but you don't put who it's about. You just put it out there and then people have to guess. Right? That's subtweeting. Like you're saying it, but you're not mentioning them, but everybody knows what you're talking about. And so the Snow White actress was like, narcissism isn't good. And then she deleted it because it was about this Rachel Zegler who ruined this Snow White movie with all her political antics. Well, it's happening now with Star Wars. I'll get to it. This is Tony Katz today. So I do not know why it is, Nicholas, you can't get the station on your computer or Alexa. I heard that iHeart was having an issue. I don't think that's us. Can you check on that, Producer Landon, and see if the audio live stream is working? And now I can't hear Producer Landon, so who knows what's happening next? Oh, there you go. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that quite a bit. Oh, and then there's the story of, by the way, poor Spirit Airlines just getting abused. This was Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, where a Spirit Airlines customer had a meltdown, which happens way too often. And in order to deal with this meltdown, they took off all their clothes. They got naked in the terminal. No, not as one does. Very much not as one does. I just want people to be normal. Just be normal in an airport. Oh, and also wear a suit. You may not know this about me. I absolutely believe 1,000% in wearing a suit on an airplane. And I do. I wear a suit on a plane. You should present yourself properly. Do you wear flip-flops on a plane? No. Do you wear a muscle shirt on a plane? No. Do you wear leggings, lady, on a plane? No. Well, Tony, I want to be comfortable. Why not have some respect for yourself? Don't do that. You can be comfortable in jeans. You can be comfortable in sensible slacks. How about having a little pride in what you look like? If you have a 4-year-old, your 4-year-olds can wear pajamas. If you have a 14-year-old, your 14-year-olds cannot wear pajamas. No, that's not what a plane is for. And I get it. There are long trips and everything else. And I don't argue a level of comfort. I argue a level of respectability. Don't wear shorts. Don't wear leggings. No bare feet. If it's a long flight and you want to take off your shoes and your socks don't stink, underneath the seat, totally fine. Other than that, no. I have very, very serious rules about this. Very serious rules about this indeed. We'll go over that another time. A bunch to cover, a bunch to get to. Let me see if there's any new clips that I need to grab. Yeah, so it's the streaming services. It's the radio streaming services. That stinks. But we're here. We're here. Blanket will do it live. All right. So with that, we'll get back to the radio show. Oh, coming back. Coming back and coming back.
Everybody's a little concerned. We all are. But at the end of the day, we got to have faith in our leadership. Our country's going in the wrong direction, 37 trillion in debt. We've got to get manufacturing back to the country, people back to work. Better way to do that is tariffs. So let's give it a shot and see what happens.
That's Senator Tuberville talking about the tariffs. Liberation Day, as we have been told. Do I even want to see where? Yeah, the markets are now, at one moment they're up, at one moment they're down. One of the bits of breaking news, Trump telling the cabinet that Elon Musk will leave the administration in the coming months. Yeah. Okay. You get a team, you put it together, you look for the cuts, you find the cuts. Good. Terrific. Now, will it stop the left from destroying people's property? And I'm telling you, Pam Bondi better be throwing the book at people. People who engaged in fire bombings and vandalism, menacing, jail time, and nothing but. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. 833-468-8669. 833 got Tony. That's the number. That's how you get to be a part of the show. Live streaming over there on my Twitter, on my X, at Tony Katz, YouTube Tony Katz, Facebook, Tony Katz Radio, and you can check out the show. The cigars are being smoked. Let us talk about Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who is wrong. I don't know her. I want to like her. I don't say that she hasn't been a good quality vote. But this is a mistake. The mistake is this idea of voting by proxy. She put forth a discharge petition to state that you can vote by proxy for 3 months after giving birth. Her argument is that she has a new, I think it's her, she has a new kid, and she wants to be able to be with that kid and still do her job. She should be able to vote by proxy. Voting by proxy was a big conversation during COVID. And my answer then was absolutely not. Not a chance, not a second, no how. You show up and you vote. I do not mind people telecommuting. I don't mind if people work from home. Years ago, so this was, when did COVID first break? Sarah, 2020? Thank you, producer Landon. Landon was on top of it, Sarah. He's winning right now. It's a competition between Landon and Sarah. Landon is our producer. Sarah runs all our digital work. And somehow we have pitted them against each other in this steel cage kind of weirdo death match. And we know how this breaks down, right? We get this.
One man leaves, two men enter. One man leaves, two men enter. One man leaves.
They will fight for my amusement. When COVID took place, I was at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference in DC. And one person had COVID. One person had COVID. And my main station in Indianapolis said to me, hey, somebody there had COVID. Of all the thousands of people who showed up, we'll drop off some equipment at your house. Why not do the show from home just for a week? Nobody knows what this thing is. It would make everybody feel better. I was like, sure. And I never went back. Built myself a studio in the basement, then built myself a studio with a full system for removing cigar smoke and everything else and fresh air intakes. And I do the show from here. There's no difference whether I show up to a building in downtown, wherever the downtown is, or whether I do it from here. It's very binary. I'm either on the air or I'm not. We know for sure that people have been doing this telecommuting during COVID. They haven't been doing their job. We know this. We see that the level of performance, the level of output is down. And companies are making the change, of course, to bring people back into the office. When it comes to Congress, when it comes to the work of an elected official, that work has to be done where the work is done. And that work is done in DC. You have to show up and you have to vote. And if you don't show up, you don't get to vote. There have been numerous occasions where there's been a conversation of how else one could vote. Some members are sick. Some members have an issue. Some could have all sorts of things wrong with them. Should Kay Granger have been allowed to vote? Kay Granger was missing from Congress for months. A Republican. She had chaired the House Appropriations Committee. She's from Texas. She had been missing for months and missing for months and missing for months. Where in the world was she? Turns out she had been residing in a senior living facility. Turns out that she had dementia issues. Should she have been allowed to vote via proxy, meaning not be in DC and still be able to vote? Any answer other than no is insane. You must be there because your vote matters, because the vote of Congress is an actual true democracy. One person, one vote. The Senate is an actual true democracy. 100 people, one vote. 100 individual votes. And the House, the same thing, 435 people, each person has a vote. Everywhere else, like when we vote for president, electoral college, a republic. Not there. Not there. We have to see you. We have to witness you. Anna Paulina Luna thought no. Thought that it's wrong. And Anna Paulina Luna went forward with a discharge petition. What is a discharge petition? It is a way of bringing a subject to the floor. If you have 218 members sign on, you can skip leadership, you can skip process, boom, right to the floor for a vote. And she brought this to the floor, and a dozen Republicans joined in with all the Democrats and voted for this. And she can now, or others, vote by proxy. This is an opening up of the Pandora's box. Representative Luna on the subject.
For a while, we've had the majority and we've had the ability to bring legislation to the floor on election integrity and also to call out rogue judges. And yet they chose at this point in time to tie this discharge petition killer to this rule that would also permanently paint me and the members supporting it. And I would like to also share that I'm one of the most conservative members of this body. I'd like to hold up my voting record to anyone else as not just being anti-election integrity, but also enabling a position that I don't typically agree with. That in itself, I would say in this entire process has been the most disappointing, especially from among my party.
Your party is not the problem. You're wrong. Let's make the argument that you decided to have a child. Let's make the argument that you were surprised that you were pregnant, but you know, the sex had an opportunity to lead to pregnancy because that's what sex does. Also, we're going to make the assumption here that you knew the rules of the House and you knew that only women can get pregnant. When people come to me and they will say about this conversation, I don't think it's right, Tony. You're saying that women have to have a child and immediately get back to work. I'm saying that every single person who runs for Congress knows the rules. And to think that the rules should change for just you is madness. I'm saying that Representative Anna Paulina Luna knew the rules. And I am saying that her decision to have a child, to which I congratulate her, or anybody else, should not change the workings of the House of Representatives. No. Sometimes hard decisions get made. No, you can't have it all. And if you say to me, well, as a man, you can't say that. Yes, I can. And if you say to me, well, Tony, you're mansplaining, damn straight I am. I'm a man and I explain things. I already have a cigar in my hand. I got bourbon right around the corner. And if someone made me a steak right now, I'd eat it with my freaking bare hands. I'm a man. I explain things. If that's mansplaining, I don't actually give a damn. I shouldn't explain it. I shouldn't discuss it. I shouldn't talk about it. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I can't have a say about it. Get bent. I'll talk about any damn thing I choose anytime I want to talk about it. And I apologize to no one, certainly not the representative who made the wrong choice here, the wrong decision. What happens now? If you can get a discharge petition about this, what else can get done? And where would these Republicans who voted for this? I mean, Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, Tim Burchett of Tennessee voted for this. They're wrong. I don't want to be mad at the guys, but they're wrong. Where do you draw the line? You don't have to show up for work. You don't have to show up and explain your vote. You don't have to be there so we can see that it's you and not somebody voting for you? This is bad. This is a mistake. And Representative Anna Paulina Luna and all those who voted for this are wrong. And honestly, I won't be surprised if she gets a primary challenge because of it. Not 100% sure if that should happen. But she's 100% wrong in this case. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that twice. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you guys. Yeah, so I hear that the audio live stream is down. I do not know why that is. We think we see everything fine on our side. So I am sorry if you're somebody who listens to the audio live stream. I'm not quite sure why it is down. I am scheduled on Newsmax today. That's was it 5:20? I'll be there with Carl Higbee. What's interesting is that we've got major storms coming through, and right now they're supposed to be south of us. But if they do come a little bit more north, we might have some tornado warnings. And if we get tornado warnings, it's going to be kind of weird being on TV. So I let them know, and they said, fantastic. It'll make for great television. By the way, I do not own any Newsmax stock at all. I did not buy any. That thing yesterday was up to $240 a share from 10. From $10. It was crazy. Absolutely nuts. Now I think it's down. Now it's at 100. I do not own the stock. You do not take stock advice from me. The high was 285. The high was 283. The high was 283. And right now it's at 100. When it started at 10, 14, some people might have made some quick loot right there. No, I didn't buy it because it wasn't in my strategy with who I work with. So I'm going to stick to strategy, and that's all there is. And if I had bought 100 shares, which would have been $1,000, could have walked away with $250,000 yesterday. So, I feel great. Oh, good Lord. That is something. Some people did. They saw it. They figured it out. Good on them. Good on them for getting that done. Sharon, you may be late, but we're glad that you're here. That was me saying hello to Sharon right there. Sharon is a heck of a lady. Let's see what else I've got to share with you. I've got that, and I've got that about immigration. The border is still the biggest story in America. And then there's this really interesting piece from Jonathan Allen that I will share with you. Ooh.
President Obama absolutely did not think that Joe Biden should continue, according to our sources close to President Obama. And he also didn't want Kamala Harris to be the replacement for Biden. He didn't think that she was the best choice for Democrats. And he worked really behind the scenes for a long time to try to have a mini primary or an open convention or a mini primary leading to an open convention. Did not have faith in her ability to win the election. So,
that is Jonathan Allen he's with MSNBC. Is he Politico? The book is called Fight Inside the Wildest Battle for the White House. And he's there on MSNBC spilling the tea. And the tea is exactly what he thought it was. Everything is fake. Every one of these people is fake. It's politics 101. Obama wanted Biden out and wanted to control the party, and Biden screwed him with the Kamala Harris endorsement.
As it turned out, she didn't win, but he was really working against her. In one moment, he had set up a phone call with Congressman Clyburn from South Carolina on the day that Joe Biden handed off the baton to Kamala Harris. And Obama had set up a call with Clyburn for like 5:30 that afternoon. And Clyburn thought to himself, this guy's going to try to rope me into the open convention thing. I better get my endorsement of Harris out there fast so that this is a short conversation. So that's and when Harris talked to Obama on the day that Biden handed off to her, Obama was on.
The real story here is that Biden, when he said I was getting out of the race, when he was pressured to get out of the race, called Jim Clyburn. Remember, Jim Clyburn gave him South Carolina in 2020, and that's how Biden got the nomination. Clyburn made it happen with the promise that, of course, you would have either a black vice president or a black Supreme Court justice or both, whatever the case may be. It was all race all the time. That was the promise. That was the deal. And Clyburn delivered South Carolina, and the rest was history. That's Clyburn's participation in this, Jim Clyburn. Me, I'm Tony Katz. Good to be with you. Tony Katz today. When Biden read Clyburn his message getting out of the race, Clyburn said, "You're not endorsing anybody." And Biden was like, that's all right. I can do that later. No. You got to endorse Kamala Harris. And Biden said, I'll get around to it. And that's why Biden put out the statement. And everybody said, what? There's no endorsement here of your vice president. What is this? Probably because Obama and Pelosi were in his ear and strong-arming him and being the people that they are. So when Biden then puts out the endorsement of Harris, it's the you-know-what off to Obama and possibly Pelosi that I'm not going to give you what you want. I'm not going to give you any. You force me out, I do this to you. Remember, Joe Biden is a petty, petty man. And Dr. Joe Biden is worse. I absolutely believe that's how it went down. Oh, I believe it wholeheartedly. Hook, line, and the sinker. And it took Obama out of being in charge of the Democratic Party. So that's a win. I'm Tony Katz. I think we all know, right? The radio show has just gone to break. I think we all know that Obama ran this party, that Obama never left D.C. so he could run this party, that Obama ran this White House. I think we're all fully aware of that. Certainly, we can agree that it was not Joe Biden running the show. Joe Biden didn't know where he was. Never mind the idea that he could actually run the party or run the White House. And yes, absolutely, Joe punched him in the face on the way out. You're going to force me out? I'm going to make your life difficult. And once the president has endorsed the vice president, it's game over. And then not Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi told us that without a question, we had an open primary, nobody else ran. You didn't have an open primary? Remember, she said that. Those were her words. She's also famously said we have to pass the bill to find out what is in it. She's a duplicitous, awful person who doesn't believe in any way in the people. She believes in her own power. I love that this is all coming out. I absolutely, positively love it. And I love you for being here, for sure. I am working on doing more and more longer forms. We do 2 hours, and people are like, you need to do the live stream for 3 hours. And I'm like, that doesn't always work that way. But we did more yesterday. Won't be today. We'll try again. We will get more and more going. But I do have to leave the live stream, and I do have to figure out what's going on with this audio stream thing. I gotta go make that happen. My thanks, of course, to the people at Von Riest, Flederman Von Riest. These are the watch people. Look at that beauty. Look at that beauty right there. Flederman Von Riest. VonRiest.com. Use promo code CATS and get your discount. Assembled in the United States right here in Indiana. This is the mechanical. It's fantastic. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love this piece, and super, super comfortable. No, not going to break the bank. And use promo code CATS and get your discount right there. And do not forget, April 17th, Trump and American Reset in 3 bourbons. Tickets.TonyKatz.com. Tickets.TonyKatz.com. The bourbon, the cigars, the food, and a look back at Trump's first 100 days, the insanity, comparing it to other first 100 days. I've got a lot to do regarding people like FDR and how the term 100 days came to be, or we can go back to Napoleon. Your choice right there. It's going to be an amazing night. Trump and American Reset in 3 bourbons. Tickets.TonyKatz.com. Get those right now. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate being a part of the live stream. Guys, an absolute pleasure. I will catch you tomorrow at noon. Be there. Be right here. Talk to you then.